to stay on top of the global leaderboard for an extended period. Many tried to beat him, but nobody could. He was simply too good. While no one was able to stop him, Sari set sight on breaking every record imaginable. On February 1st, Sari would be the first person to reach 3,000 stars. The day after Valentine's Day, he would be the first person to complete 100 demon levels, the hardest difficulty in the game. A few days later, he would reach 4,000 stars, and a month after that, 5,000. Only at this point would Sari start to feel the pressure that was from someone you might recognize. Sari and Cyclic would push each other to great heights for the majority of their star grinding careers, sometimes trading the top spots among each other. Most of the time, it was Sari who had the last laugh. On June 6, 6 months after his first post, he had a huge milestone. Sari was the first person in the world to earn 10,000 stars. In half a year, Sari pushed the record from 2,000 stars to 10,000, and nobody was even close to him. This moment was the peak of Sari's career. While he did go on to reach much higher numbers, this was his last massive achievement. On October 5th, Sari hit his last big milestone, being the first man to reach 14,000 stars, with 400 demons completed. After this, he would collect just 100 more stars. Sari would hang around the forums for a few more months, but after the release of Update 1.9, Sari disappeared from the internet. To this day, nobody has heard from him since 2014. While we're going to talk about what happened, now would be a good time to talk about what Sari left behind for the community. More specifically, the levels he built.
I put curing hepatitis C on mine today.
Epclusa treats all types of chronic hepatitis C with a 98% cure rate. Epclusa is one pill once a day for 12 weeks. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B, liver or kidney problems, HIV, and all medicines and supplements you take. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Most common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor about Epclusa today.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
Come on and cry.
The world loves her.
My company is a key job creator. Think of it like you hooked up with the governor.
They despise her.
You're killing our planet.
Alien development.
And audiences will never forget her.
You know I know. You know that. You may hate me. You may want me dead. But I have something you need. And you know I do.
Forgive me. Rated R. In theaters everywhere. October 31st.
Sari's first documented level was a short challenge called Sari World, which was released in February of 2014. The only reason this level's existence is known is because of a 5-second video that Sari himself posted to GW. His big break as a creator came after building a level called Hate War. For those of you who are curious, Sari very explicitly states his stance on the topic. For whatever reason, the level was seemingly impossible due to an apparent physics change around 1.6. After this, Sari would rebalance the level, making it once again possible. Strangely enough, this won't be the first time this happens. His next level was Auto Demonov, a level that beats itself. Even for today's standards, the level looks great, and the auto gameplay is creative. Sari incorporates block design into the level, which is extremely rare for this time period. He also has a pretty neat signature at the end of the level. Sari's next big project came out during Update 1.8 titled Collaboration. While it's technically not the first of its kind, the level popularized the trend for multiple creators to work on a single project. Nowadays, it's hard to find a level that wasn't worked on by different people. Despite the influence, Collaboration did not have a great reception on release because of its extremely difficult ending. This part was Sari's contribution to the level. While Collaboration may be his most influential level, the honor of the most popular one would have to go to Red World. Red World was truly a one-of-a-kind level. It was the first level to incorporate the Swing Copter, a game mode that was officially added to the game 9 years later at Update 2.2. When Update 1.9 was released, the block was changed into a decoration, making the level impossible to complete. Instead of fixing the problem, PropTop decided to unrate it. The level would stay this way for many years to come. Red World wasn't forgotten about. A few years later, Heinz, Vindexy, and Vibrant created Red World Rebirth, a reimagination of the original level. The visuals were overhauled and the gameplay was buffed at various parts. This version of Red World is most famously known as Geometry Dash Legend Riot's last large-scale verification. To today, Red World Rebirth is the definitive version of the two levels. 7 years after Red World's original release, RobTop finally restored the lost block, making the level once again possible. The original Red World was re-rated, and one of the weirdest 7-year sagas came to an end. It's safe to say that Sari had a long-lasting legacy. That begs the question as to why he would throw all that away by leaving. While no one outright accused him of cheating, a few people were starting to grow suspicious of his talent. To understand these accusations, we'll have to go back to the beginning. During update 1.2, a creator known as San0924 uploaded a level called the Hell Zone. This was much harder than anything else in Geometry Dash. Well, on January 11th, a day after he first took the #1 spot on the global leaderboard, Sari became the Hell Zone's first ever victor. In 48 hours, Sari proved that he was the best star grinder and player in the world. Sari would celebrate this achievement by completing the even harder sequel level, the Hell World, before it even had a chance to get rated. When the skill ceiling grew years later, people started to realize how crazy these achievements were, and suspicions were raised. What was frustrating to his detractors was there was no evidence to support the claim that Sari hacked these levels. The only levels he ever recorded from start to finish were all the main RobTop levels at the time. Well, almost all of them. For whatever reason, Sari never recorded himself beating Clutterfunk. While this is a perfectly fine excuse, maybe the real reason he didn't want to record it is because he didn't want to end up like Neptune. If you know who Neptune is, you probably know him as the creator of one of the most popular series in the game's history, the Version 2 series. These levels were remixes of RobTop's default levels, but with a visual overhaul and a big swing in difficulty. These levels can vary from 3 stars like Stereo Madness V2 to hard demons like Theory of Everything 2 V2. Even with these difficult levels, Neptune verified all of them and uploaded his verifications to YouTube. In 2015, a user named Axum made an expose proving that Neptune hacked all of his completions. His main piece of evidence was the rotation of the saw objects. The reason these seemingly irrelevant objects are important to the story is that they only move in one direction. They can only change from clockwise to counterclockwise between attempts. Axum's evidence was that during Neptune's completion videos, the saws changed direction mid-attempt. This was clear evidence that Neptune spliced his completion videos. To some, this came as a shock, but to many, this only confirmed what they suspected. The only reason we knew that Neptune hacked was because of his recorded completions. If he never had a YouTube channel, nobody would have any hard evidence against him. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this is one of the biggest talking points on exposing Sari. As mentioned previously, Sari's phone had serious performance issues. Screen tears run rampant and the frame rate is very inconsistent. It's possible that he didn't record himself beating any of his levels because he literally couldn't, so this was a dead end. However, it didn't take long for people to find some very incriminating evidence against him. Previously, I glossed over how difficult Sari's completions were. When he beat the Hell Zone, it was celebrated amongst the community, but no one truly understood how big of a deal it was. On February 6, 2020, 6 years later, Mike139115 was the first person that I could find to beat the Hell Zone on mobile after Sari. He would also be the first person to beat the Hell World a few months later. As suspicious as that is, it pales in comparison to Sari's hardest mode. Silent Club was an infamous impossible level created by Black Pizza Quest. It was a level that was previously considered to be impossible up until just a few years ago when Loopalizer verified it in 2021. Even today, Silent Club is one of the hardest levels in the world. Nobody has beaten Silent Club with a lower refresh rate than 144. The level was uploaded on April 1st, 2014. One day later, Sari got a hold of the level and beat it on the same day. If there's any hard evidence in exposing someone without a recording, this is as blatant as it gets. In 2014, people weren't good enough to realize what he just did was impossible. Everyone congratulated him on his biggest achievement and moved on. Sari was still a part of the community, an undetected cheater. October 21st, 2014, Sari made multiple long blog posts on GW, venting about his mental health and the maturity level of other community members. After this, Sari would post sparingly. At the dawn of Update 1.9, Sari would make his last post to GW, sharing his newly created account. In 2015, Update 2.0 was released. In the update, the profile feature was fleshed out more, allowing you to add people and also post directly onto your GD profile. Sari, after being dormant for the entirety of 1.9, briefly returned. He went to his profile and posted one of the most infamous messages in the community's history. Sometimes. After one word, Sari was never heard from again. Over the years that I've been researching Sari, my goal was to put a close on his story once and for all. Even though I found what I was looking for, I also found something else that ended up being much more important to me.
This Adam is on WhatsApp. Everyone here? Everyone on WhatsApp got the location change. Great. This Adam is not. Is everybody here? No one showed up. Because the location change was buried by our SVPs. It's time for WhatsApp.
Johnson, what's the motive looking like in here?
Who are you guys? Forensics team is off playing the new Call of Duty Black Ops 7. We're the wrong place. Oh my God! Is that a dead body?
No, kidnap it.
Is this a thought?
When most people think of Sari, they think of a mysterious person who ruled the game with an iron fist for a year, only to disappear without a trace. Some people treat him like he's nothing more than a myth. This is how I imagined Sari when I began my research. However, when I looked into his blog post, I found a completely different person. I found an extremely passionate person who loved the game more than anyone else. He loved drawing and often made art for other people as gifts. Sometimes he'd even draw people just to cheer them up. He helped others in need, using his community status to get Robtop's attention to reinstate accounts. He even shared his cat with the community. He seemed like a man who truly cared about the community and would do whatever he could to make it a better place. With his age, Sari had a lot of pressure on him. At 16 years old, he was the face of the Korean community. Though he did make many mistakes, most notably cheating on many of his completions, I personally don't think he's a bad person for it. It's likely that the reason he left in the first place was because of the guilt he felt over it. I can't imagine how hard it must have been to walk away from a community where you were known as a hero. This experience has shown me that Sari was more than a mystery. He was a human being just like the rest of us. Over the 3 years of my research on this topic, that's the best thing that I found.